Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living North Metro. That's us here in Thornton, Colorado. I'm Reverend Michael Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
And these are the people serving with us today. We have Greg and Sheila Fawson, who's our producers. And
hi, everybody.
We're so thrilled to have Robin Hackett back. She's one of our most beloved musicians, and she's going to be our
Robin
for today.
Hi, good morning.
And we welcome everybody that's tuned in. And
Ernestine?
oh, yeah. Hi, Ernestine.
Good morning.
I haven't woke up yet. Well, Ernestine is going to be giving us our affirmations and a reading. Thank you, Ernestine. We love you. Ready?
Yes.
So if you would, just close your eyes. Breathe the breath of God, knowing that truly that's all that there is. There cannot be anything else. The one mind, the one life, the one place of absolute perfection. That life is my life. That life is Reverend Valerie's life. That life is Ernestine's life, and Greg and Sheila and Robin and all those who have tuned in today. That life is Kim's life. That life is Lana and Harold's life, who join us today celebrating this day of good. I know that this service unfolds in all its splendor and perfection, and each individual gets exactly what they came here to get. We celebrate this day. We celebrate this service. We celebrate our lives, knowing all is in perfect order. And for this and so much more, I'm eternally grateful. And in this gratitude, I can now let go, let God, allow it to be. And together we say, and so it is. We're going to get started with some music by Robin Hackett.
Mm-hmm. And I invite everyone right now to just go into that quiet place, that peaceful place where all resides, the pure oneness that we are, the pure oneness that you are. I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. And I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Yes, I will make a quiet place, a quiet place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. Yes, I will make a quiet place. A quiet place within my mind. And I will wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Yes, I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
That was so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have a tickle in my throat.
Valerie has a little tickle in her throat, so we'll let her untickle her throat, and
Hopefully,
we'll say goodbye for now, but you'll be back
you want
after.
to do that. I'll do it.
Okay.
Or you can.
No, you do it.
So like us and check in on Facebook at CSL North Metro. You can go to our website at cslnorthmetro.org. And if you go to contact us, you can add yourself to our email list so you know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can add a prayer request there. All of our links for all of our services and everything is there. And on that calendar, you see all the things that we're doing. And also the affirmations that we read each week and a prayer are also out there. So there's lots. And there's a new blog out there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did do that.
You did. So if you shop on Amazon and you don't have a charity already, we invite you to go to smile.amazon.com and add CSL North Metro as your charity, because then when you shop, we get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Today's title is No Need for Need. You met our guest artist, Robin Hackett. And today's reading is from The Art of Becoming by Hazrat Inayat Kahn. Okay. And now we're ready for some more music.
Ready for Ernestine.
Ernestine.
Next song, I love this.
Those days.
I love this song, and I've been wanting to sing it.
Wait, I did it wrong. We need to have Ernestine on first.
Okay.
Sorry, we're doing the affirmations and the reading.
I started it all. Blame me.
Well, that matters not.
Ernestine.
Sorry.
And I say it is all good.
That's right.
It's all good all the time. And I would be happy to read the affirmations.
Yes.
And I'll be happy when we hear from Robin again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The affirmations for the week of November. The affirmations for the week of November 14th, 2021 by Stephan Anthony. Please repeat after me. My every word and action blesses the world beyond me.
My every word and action blesses the world beyond me.
I cultivate peace and harmony in every aspect of my life.
I cultivate peace and harmony in every aspect of my life.
I navigate each day with a positive mental attitude.
I navigate each day with a positive mental attitude.
I embrace my oneness with all life.
I embrace my oneness with all life.
I believe completely in the perfection of my being.
I believe completely in the perfection of my being.
I accept and share unconditional love with the world.
I accept and share unconditional love with the world.
And together we say,
And so it is.
Our reading today is from The Art of Being and Becoming by Hazrat Inayat Kahn. All the affairs of life are accomplished by the power of the mind. External conditions are nothing but mechanisms which the mind works as an engineer, producing from life all that is desired. Therefore, whatever be one's condition in life, the principal thing is to shake off all that weigh upon the mind, thus making it free to fulfill its task through life. Often people find themselves helpless before a difficult situation, but very few stop to think that it is not only the situation that is difficult, but there is some difficulty in one's own mind. One hardly gives a thought to this question, for everyone's eyes are fixed upon the difficulty of the situation alone. It is like seeing a wall standing before one and yet not realizing that one has a hammer in one's hand. If one realizes the power that the mind has, whatever was standing before one may not only the wall, but even mountains could be removed. Many seek for power from without, ignorant of the fact that all power is hidden within. When by freeing our own mind from all that weighs it down, we realize the power we inherit from the source of all beings, we will realize in ourselves an enormous power. The mastermind is the master of life. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Ernestine.
That was beautiful.
Yes. Now we're going to have another song.
Yay.
We're just so anxious to get Robin singing for us.
All right, so I'm going to do, this is such a traditional, the words are traditional, and I fell in love with these words a long time ago, and then I forget about them. And I just found this song again, and I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah.
God is my shepherd, I won't be wanting, I won't be wanting. She makes me rest in fields of green, with quiet streams. Even though I walk through the valley of death and dying, I will not fear, 'cause you are with me, you're always with me. Shepherd's staff comforts me. You are my peace in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness follows me in the house of God forever. God is my shepherd, I won't be wanting, I won't be wanting. He makes me rest in fields of green, quiet streams. I will not fear, 'cause you are with me. You're always with me. The shepherd's staff comforts me. You are my peace in the presence of enemies. Surely goodness follows me in the house of God forever. 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 Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
It's good to know your intuition is right on.
Yes, and thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm always blown away. Well, I guess I'm getting
Not really.
how musicians can just tune into whatever I put as a title and come up with the perfect songs.
Yes,
And
I think you actually expect it, Michael. I think you do, both you and Valerie.
I love the process.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
we're going to get back to you for some more music as
Yes,
soon as we
yes.
do our thing.
Okay.
See you in a
All right.
bit.
I just feel like I just got prayed for.
Yeah,
Big time.
for real. No need for need. Her song just answered that completely.
Did?
I was thinking about how many times in my life I use the word need, and I think I'd be overwhelmed with the amount, because those two words can carry with it disappointment. I need this and I don't get this, so therefore I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or whatever. Sometimes we need so much that we forget that all our needs are met all the time. And I remember when I came to my first spiritual center, I heard the minister say that I didn't need to do anything. Like, what? I don't need to do anything? What does that mean? And it took some years of going through classes and studying to get my perception of what that means, that I don't need anything. If you compared to these two things, if you compared I need money to I am in the abundant flow of God's good, everything is attracted to me that is mine. I know that the good is always with me, it is always pouring forth in my life and every affair that I live. It's a whole different thing than I need money.
Affairs?
Well,
Sorry. I just couldn't resist. Sorry.
so where am I?
I don't know. Having affairs.
I'm not having affairs.
And every affair in your life.
Yeah, my affair with God. God is my only affair, and my one and only. Anyway, I'm not saying to avoid using that word, because that word brought me into my center, because I was so filled with needs that I thought I found the answer. And my minister was the answer, my practitioner was the answer. But that was my beginning steps in this philosophy. And now I realize that my answer is me. It's always within me. It's always present. It's always available whenever I need it. And I don't ever need it, because there is no need for need. We all have the ability to observe. And I think of three things that we can practice when we find we're needing anything. And that is to observe, to declare, and to allow. It's important that we step outside of ourselves and look at what's going on in our lives. What is holding us down? What is keeping us from moving forward? What is making us fearful? What is causing lack and limitation? And they're all good to look at, because if we can look at it from outside and not get personal with it, but know that it is personal, that we can make the changes that we want in our lives. So you observe, you look at what's up for you, and you have to do nothing other than declare the truth of your being. So if you're feeling lack and limitation, again, know the flow of abundance fills you and follows you all the days of your life, everywhere. And that in the moment that you know that all your needs are met, then the need goes away, and you step into the eternality of your life and capture the good that is waiting for you to claim all the time. When I started this journey, and it is a journey from being just somebody sitting in the congregation listening to my minister talk, to taking classes and start practicing some of the things I was hearing about, to becoming a practitioner and sitting before individuals in client sessions, to becoming a minister, and to going to the unknown, continuing to step into my brightest yet to be, and know that everything is unfolding perfectly. There's nothing I need to do. There's only me. There's only that which I get to follow. There's only that which I get to answer, because in God, everything is perfect. There are no needs for needs. Everything is given upon us that we will be able to use in any given circumstances, in any given condition. God is always present, and all we have to do is tap into it. We don't need stuff. We don't need to have to take action just for action's sake. All we get to do is observe, declare, and allow. And that which you declare will follow you and will be present when the time is perfect for it to show its intelligence. And it is intelligence. There's a certain word that we all have been exposed to most of our lives, and that's faith. And truly, when I thought that first time when I heard my minister say that I didn't need to do anything, that action would move through me, not by me, then my life changed from that moment on. It was living every day in a profound way, in an uplifting way, in a way that I was seeking most of my life, and that is to be spiritual. But I always thought that I had to do something to be spiritual. I had to sacrifice or become something that I wasn't. But the I am presence says, you are more than this. You are more than anything that you think you can do to fulfill yourself. You are not your doing, you are your being. I recall this client I had many years ago. I think it was like the first couple of years that I was a practitioner. And she came to me. I don't know why she came to me. I can't remember what she was asking for, but she came, and during the course of the session, this word need came up. And I asked her, what is your idea? What do you think need means to you? What does that mean to you? And she sat there and kind of thought for a moment and said, oh, long time ago, before I became a practitioner, and she was a practitioner, she said, I was deathly afraid of flying. And my work, what I did, called me to have to fly all the time. So she said, I'd get on the plane, or even before I got on the plane, I started getting sick to my stomach. I started getting fearful, and anxiety was taking me over. And I'd get on the plane and it would get worse. And it was so bad that I couldn't even go to sleep to try to block it out. And she says it was like the worst time of my life. And I said, well, what happened? She said, well, I was in meditation one day because I'd been asking to be guided and directed to how to overcome that which is that which I've been experiencing, and that's fear of flying. And she says, I was on the plane and meditating, and I heard this voice, and it says, you don't need anything. And she says, wow, it just hit me in a way. And that flight was a little easier. It still hadn't gone all the way, but it was a little easier. And I continued to meditate. I continued to open up to it. And she said, finally, on another occasion, I heard, take flying lessons. And she says, immediately I got scared and thought, how can I do that? How can I fly if I'm a nervous wreck up in the air? And then she thought, I don't need anything. I can do this. I don't need this fear. I don't need to be afraid. I can do this. So she stepped into it. She took lessons, and somehow, without thinking about it, and she couldn't even remember the day it happened, but all that fear and anxiety went away. And she told me that she appreciated this spiritual work that she had been doing all her life, and that it wasn't about when it was going to happen or how it was going to happen. It was going to happen, and it happened in her life. And then she just kind of sit there for a while, and I was waiting for her to say something, and she says, "You know what? I'm still getting things from that lesson." And she said, she said, and I want to share this that just came through to me right now. She said, "When we define, we confine. When we define, we confine." And think about that. Do you define yourself around your work? Do you define yourself around your mate? Do you define yourself around what you do or what you don't do? Every time you define yourself, you're confining yourself to not be open to the infinite potential and the infinite possibilities that are with you every moment of your life. You are the definition of you is the I am presence. I am what thou art, and thou art what I am, eternally. So I invite you to look at, where are you with needs? Do you feel that you need anything added upon you? Because nothing needs to be added upon, because you are whole, perfect, and complete, just as you are all the time, asking for nothing, needing nothing. Everything is given as you open to it. Valerie?
Don't you think when you're focused on your need, you get more of what you're needing?
Yes.
Because we say this like all the time, what we focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
So when we begin to focus on who we are instead of what we don't have,
Right.
then we begin to grow into that divine being that we are. I really want to read this quote that I found by Hazrat Inayat Kahn. "It is not by self-realization that one realizes God. It is by God realization that one realizes self." I'm going to read that again. "It is not by self-realization that one realizes God. It is by God realization that one realizes self."
Yes.
And that just hit me so hard yesterday about how often we're looking at the without to get something in the within, when all of it's the within that shows up without.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly reminded that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And what he constantly said in the book is that if we put the spiritual first, the rest of it, and I think all of the spiritual leaders say this, that you know, if we put the spiritual first, that which the only word I can think of to use is need. That which we think we need is given unto us, because we're focusing on the truth of our being. We're focusing on who we really are. We're focusing on becoming that which we came to become and learning that which we came to learn. And that opens us up to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It opens us up to all the possibilities. And so if we put the spiritual first, so we make sure that we put the meditation first. And I've been reading a lot about forgiveness lately. And yesterday, Reverend Michael said, well, who do you need to forgive? And it's like, well, I've done a really lot of work on that. But there are still things that, either I'm watching the news or I'm doing this thing or somebody says this thing and I have a reaction to it. And then I feel like I need to label it. And, we all go down that path sometimes. And reminding myself that we're all here to learn something. And I think he said it over and over and over in the book that everybody came here to do the thing that they came here to do. And we aren't necessarily going to agree with the things that they're doing. And it is here for a purpose. Mm-hmm. It's here for a reason. And so when I allow myself to get attached to how someone should be or what they should be doing or how they should be acting or any of the shoulds, then I'm in a place of judgment and I'm not being spiritual and I'm not understanding that we're all spiritual beings and we're all here working out our stuff, and that in spiritual terms, it's all good. Mm-hmm. In physical terms, it doesn't look that way all the time. No, it doesn't look that way a lot. And if we just remind ourselves that everything is spiritual, and so if we go to the spiritual first and realize we don't know why that person is having that experience. We don't know what that person's working through. We don't know what they came here to do. We don't know any of those things. And by allowing myself to go into judgment, then I'm stepping down into the physical and not staying on the spiritual level. Mm-hmm. And so I have an opportunity every time I'm tempted to go into judgment to move myself another way. And so this is from The Science of Mind. Treatment moves in thought and sets something in motion as an active thing. So when I get to the place where I'm feeling judgmental or like things have to be this way for me to be okay or that way for things to be okay, if I can just have enough awareness to go into prayer, to go into that spiritual mind treatment that we teach all of the time, that we get better and better at as we go along, we can actually dissolve the thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean we can change everybody else in the world. That's not even what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is work on me, figure out those places where I still have judgments, figure out those places where I have work to do, figure out those places where I think I'm not okay or I need this to be okay, or anything outside of me, then that shows me where my spiritual work is. So here's another quote from Ernest I really like. To view limitation is to impress it upon the mind. So think about that. So I'm viewing that limitation out there, and then suddenly, oh no, it's in here because I decided to allow it in.
To make an imprint on your mind.
To make an imprint on my mind. So, okay, we're spiritual beings. We're having this physical experience. We're really, really delightfully lucky that we get to be here on this planet. And our work is to understand that everything that's happening on this planet, whether we agree with it, whether we like it, no matter how it feels or how it is, everybody's having a spiritual experience. And we don't know why they're here. We don't know what they're here to work through. And as we allow ourselves to sit in judgment of it, then that becomes our work to do. Mm-hmm. There's something to say about that?
Well, when we take a spiritual path, when we open up to the higher self, there's times when we can become very vulnerable and feel like we're exposed to the world. And looking back on my life and everything I've gone through, I'm sure it can happen again. I've had those moments where that vulnerability felt like a war, felt like I was being attacked by some unknown entity. And I could have stayed in fear, but I chose to step outside myself and look at it and say, what's really going on here? What's underneath? What's that underneath thing that you feel you have to war with the world? And it all boils down to, I'm using the opposite of faith, which is fear. Fear is using the same principles and same laws as faith does. So in that moment, I can make a decision that no one has any power over me. No one can hurt, harm, and endanger me because I'm an eternal being. I'm eternally unfolding in my glory and my splendor. And as I know this for myself, I know it for every individual. And that's not always easy to do. It's not always easy to be vulnerable. I've talked about this before, but when I first started going to my spiritual center, I felt so vulnerable, so very vulnerable, because I was beginning to open. I was beginning to blossom, that I'd have to wear sunglasses sometimes because I couldn't handle anybody looking directly into my eyes. It was just too scary. But my path was to step into that and to know that something within me was about to change, and to embrace it by stepping into it, by allowing the guidance within me to take me into any situation, any condition, and embrace it completely, because I know the embracing of it is the freeing from it. The embracing of your fear is the freedom from it. And it's worked for me ever since. And I'm sure what works for me can work for anyone, because I'm not alone in this world, am I?
I don't think so.
There's some people sitting here right now.
That's right. Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting. So where to go from here?
Well, so I'm going to read one more quote, and then we'll kind of unpack that one. Everything in the visible world is an effect. Back of all effects are ideas, which are the real cause of the effects.
Mm-hmm.
The divine ideas are perfect, but our freedom of individuality causes them to appear imperfect. Through right thinking, we are able to uncover the appearance of imperfection and reveal the perfect idea.
Ernest, that's the way of putting things, isn't it?
It does.
So, in simple terms, change your thinking, change your life. That's what it all boils down to. If what you're doing if what you're doing doesn't serve you and you continue to do it, then there's your answer. Stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I worked for this hypnotist in Hollywood. She was called the hip hypnotist, and she would hypnotize everybody, the staff and everybody, and make our arms like steel, and then take us partially out of it, because she left people a little bit hypnotized, because she'd say, "Okay, drink up, everybody," and all the waiters would have to hit the tables. And she put that idea there, and everybody would accept it. Okay, yeah, I guess to drink up again. But she taught a self-hypnosis class that I took, and the one thing stood out for me was, in order to embrace change, and truly, if there's a lot of needs in your life, then there's a lot of change that has to take place. In order to embrace change, start changing things.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I decided to shave off my beard, because I thought that was a scary thing. Guys that grow a beard hide their face. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I grew a beard. But when you shave it off, it's like all of a sudden you see yourself and it's like, whoa, I sure am ugly. Now I know why I grew a beard in the first place. But and the other thing I did is I changed how I signed my name. I just started changing little things in my life, so big things would come and change in my experience. And So that may be a way to start. Just change something little. If you brush your teeth one way, you brush the top all the time first, and we'll start with the bottom first, or whatever. If you what else?
Oh, there's just a bazillion things. So when I first was learning this stuff, I was listening to, and I cannot remember his name. I'm really sorry about that. But he was a psychologist, and he was talking about when people have heart attacks and then go to the hospital, and then they're told you have to change your diet, and you have to change your exercise, and he said it's just too much to change that much at once. So we have to start smaller. So that's what he suggested that we do. He suggested things like, if you have your toothpaste or toothbrush in this drawer, put it in this drawer. If your toilet paper is rolled over this way, put it this way. And people groan for that one. If you're spending your time making sure everything is perfect, and at the time I can remember before I left in the morning, make sure all my towels aligned at the bottom. So leave it messy. That was hard. And if your closet's messy, make it neat. And if your closet's neat, let it get a little messy. And just on and on with small things. Another thing that he said that I've never been able to make myself do, if you sleep on this side of the bed, change sides. It's like, so we can tell that we're attached to things when just little things like that make me, So the whole idea is we get stuck in our patterns. And one of my patterns, for a long, long time, I got into banking, and I discovered that most of the officers were men, most of the bosses were men, and men were very, very uncomfortable with women's emotions. And so I decided to get rid of mine. And so I was very successful at that. And it's taken me quite a long time in classes and in, first of all, my job got eliminated because I was already growing and I was changing. And we had a couple of psychologists, because every time we were in that spot where the bank was being sold and sold and sold, and every time all the officers would have to go through psychological testing again. And what these two told me is, you're a very, what did they say? Something about really being intuitive, and that I wasn't using any of my intuition, and that I was a lot more spontaneous than I was being, and that they were surprised I'd made it as long as I had. Well, it wasn't very long before my job was eliminated, and I actually knew it was coming because I could see that I really didn't fit in this world, that I hadn't fit for a long time, but that I squished myself into it because that's what was expected. But really, if the thing that is expected doesn't serve us, maybe we should find a new thing.
Goes back to when we define, we confine.
Correct.
So when we're defining ourselves as a bank president or wanting to be in the men's world, then we're confining ourselves to the smallness and not allowing ourselves to blossom into something greater.
And yet, it took some of us making the leap to open the doors for others as well. So I'm not saying that that was a bad thing. I'm just saying that as I grew out of it, I realized I didn't have to live that role anymore. I remember when I first met you, I couldn't even cry.
No.
I couldn't even cry.
I was crying and everything.
Well, he still does, and I don't. But it's not about that. It's about being who we came here to be, and not being that form which the world is expecting. Because I was successful at that, but I had really shut myself off to who I was and what my needs were, and it wasn't serving me. It really wasn't serving me.
Did you think in terms of it was weak to show your emotions?
No, it was more like that makes them uncomfortable. And so I'm not going to do that. The plus side of that was I was able to, because at one point I had about 60 employees and 18 or 19 direct reports, and almost all of those were women. I was able to be the manager that they needed, even while I was playing the game in the other world. And so, I mean, things always work out, and we're here to do what we're here to do and learn what we're here to learn. And now I know better, and I'm doing something else, right?
Right.
So
You're doing
that's
this.
really, I just wanted to talk about how we can stuff ourselves into containers for what we think is expected and what we think we need to do or be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Or, maybe gradually move out of it instead of just boom, you're here, boom, you're here. It's like, anyway.
There's two ways of doing it.
No,
I was boom, you're here, boom,
that's
you're
how
here.
I did it too, accidentally. But hey,
That's all good.
you think we should pray?
You think?
We do.
Okay.
So I just invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Just breathe in that breath of God, that light of God, that love of God, and breathe out anything that might be holding you back, anything that might be bothering, anything that might be concerning. Just breathe it all out as you're breathing in God. Breathe in that awareness and that oneness and that isness. And I know that there is only that one power, that one presence, that one life, that one amazing presence that is all that there is. That is my life, that is Michael's life, that is Lana's life and Harold's life and Kim's life and Robin's life and Ernestine's life and Greg's life and Sheila's life and everyone watching us and everyone everywhere all of the time, that there is no separation. There is only one, and we're all one with it, one with each other and one with all it is. And so I know for each one of us, that wholeness and that oneness and that usness and that presence and that power and that love and that peace and that harmony and that perfect healing of our body temples and perfect health and perfect love and enough love, enough peace, enough praise, enough safety, enough everything that we need. I know for each of us that we have enough and more than enough to give and to share. And so I'm so grateful for this moment, grateful for this time together, grateful to know this is done in the mind of God. And so I pass this word to Reverend Michael.
And I know that which has been spoken by Reverend Valerie is complete in itself. There's nothing to add on to, nothing to take away from it. That all those who are seeking God's good continue to find it, continue to expand into it, continue to grow and unfold into their perfect yet to be. I know that this day that God has made, and I rejoice in it. I rejoice and give thanks for each and every individual who have decided to be part of this service simply by tuning in and turning on and listening. And I know that each person got exactly what they came here to get and will continue to receive God's blessings throughout this week. So I send out light and love to all those who are listening and watching this service, knowing that your life is important, your life is necessary, your life is a blessing to us all. I surround those who we continue to hold in prayer for divine healing, Kim and Diane, and another Kim, knowing that each one continues to strengthen and Kylie, yes, that each one continues to strengthen and embrace their healing powers. It is so right here, right now. Through this declaration of truth, I know that I am thankful for its unfoldment, that it is now revealing itself in each life all the time. And for this and so much more, I say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, life. This word is complete. So I let go, let God, and I allow it to be. And together we say,
and so it is. Ashe, Aho, Amen, and woo-hoo.
That was wonderful. Thank you. You may wonder what your world is coming to, with all the ups and downs that you've been
But there's more than the eye can see. There's the truth in your divinity. So be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. And when those clouds roll in, don't you worry now. Before you know it, you'll be up with the sun. And on this world goes round and around. But in the chaos, there's something to be found. So be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Don't you worry about the rain upon your shoulders. Don't you worry if the sun don't shine. Don't you worry if there's enough for tomorrow. For if you go inside, you will see you are a shining light. So be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know all is well. All is well, all is well. Be still and know. Be still and know.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
I love it. Okay, a little business to do, and then we'll get right back to you for the last song. So each week we extend the invitation for you to support us in any way you can. And we know that our basket is full and always overflowing. So we'll just open up to your gracious heart and know that as you give, you receive twice as much.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for your gifts.
And so you can, if you use Venmo, you can use the QR code right in the corner. And otherwise, you can go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org, and there are a couple ways to give out there. So one's PayPal and the other one's I forget what it is, but anyway.
You give?
Yeah, it allows you to do that. And you can also text "You Give" to 888-364-GIVE. And so thank you for your gifts, and let's bless them.
Okay, so just join me, close your eyes, and know that you are an empowering factor as we bless these gifts. Repeat after me. Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you for your abundance in my life.
Thank you for your abundance in my life.
I share with these abundance through my giving.
I share this abundance through my giving.
I know all is well.
I know all is well.
I hold it in my heart.
I hold it in my heart.
To be so.
To be so.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, Robin Hackett.
Today I saw the sun. I stood out in the rain and I watched the eagle fly again. I heard a baby cry and I walked right through I'm thankful. Oh, I am. Oh, I am. Yes, I am. So grateful. So peaceful. Yes. So thankful. Yes, I am. I am. I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. You got something to
Yeah,
say?
join us on Zoom right after the service. We'd like to get to know you and we'll share our aha moments. There's an on-screen link right there. And if you missed it,
Whoops.
you can always get it from our website. And so, all right. So I think we're just ready to.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we continue to do our service this way. We invite people to join us live here, but we ask that you have had your vaccinations, so we're all safe together. And we know that the winter is coming, and we all want to be safe in this kind of environment. We know we're safe, but we want to do the smart things to continue to be safe.
And keep everybody that way while they're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. I want to thank Greg and Sheila Fossen for what they do so perfectly all the time, and our for being
Thank
our
you.
reader for some time.
And Stephan for writing the affirmations and the treatments like week after week after week, year after year. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
And Robin Hackett, her beautiful voice and her beautiful consciousness. We're so pleased to have you with us.
Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Yeah, Benedict is out.
okay. So simply giving thanks for this wonderful day, for all that still has to offer, for this week coming up, knowing that we're blessed with all kinds of miracles and shiny things, knowing that God is always present in our life and it continues to guide us and direct us to our highest yet to be. For this and so much more, I'm eternally grateful. So there's nothing left to do but say thank you and let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
So it is.
Yeah.
Join us on Zoom.
Yeah.
See you there.
Bye.
Okay.